What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and of course, I got some boxing for you. I want to talk to you guys about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury's undercard. You know, the undercard was a decent undercard. It was actually pretty good. You know, you had Luis King Kong Ortiz taking on Travis Kaufman. Travis Kaufman talked a lot of smack. You know, he brought up the drug allegations against Ortiz. I thought that was going to give him an edge. You know, he was a quick, tough competitor. He lasted the 10th round, but they eventually stopped it. I think Ortiz gets frustrated with guys that move, that run. He wants someone that comes forward. And, you know, he dropped him twice, hurt him in the last round, got him out of there. But I think that he should have done that sooner. But, you know, it is a good thing that he did get 10 rounds in. Why? Because Ortiz needs the rounds. He honestly needs the rounds. He needs that, he needs to knock off the webs, because the fight he fought Cajano was only 2 rounds? It was a second round knockout. You know, when you start to develop those quick knockouts, you know, that doesn't do anything for your stamina. You know what I mean? And I think that it was a good thing taking him on, you know, fighting someone that had an awkward style, a tough guy like Travis Kaufman. You know, a lot of people discredit Ortiz. Oh, he didn't look good. It was a bad fight. But, you know, you got to consider the opponent. The opponent makes it difficult, but the opponent's supposed to make it difficult. He's fighting you. He doesn't really want you to get off. He doesn't want you to look good. He wants you to look bad. He wants you to push and frustrate you. And that's exactly what Travis Kaufman did. In that aspect, he did a good job. You know, and he kept getting off that canvas. He didn't want the fight to stop because I think he went into survival mode in there, which rightfully so. I mean, it makes sense. This guy's hitting you. You got a hard-hitting Cuban that was slapping him with the right hook, and then followed with that channel left straight. And I know he wanted to get him out of there with an uppercut, Ortiz, but it just wouldn't happen. So, but that was a good fight, knockout. Next fight. On the co-main event, we had Jerrett Hurd taking on Jason Welborn, and it was a good fight as long as it lasted. You know, Jason Welborn was really getting into his shit, and I was like, wow, he's really putting it to this guy, first time fighting in America and all, in the good old US of A. So, he wanted to make a statement, and he did exactly that with the shots that he landed on Hurd. But obviously he didn't know who Hurd was. Hurd is those type of dudes. He's going to take the most and the best of what you got and turn it against you and give you that same thing back. He reminds me of Bishop from the X-Men, the X-Force guys. His power is to take whatever you give him and shoot it back at you. And that's exactly what I figured he did. You know what I mean? And that's what Jerrett Hurd does. He takes the most of what you have and uses against you. He loves war. He loves that contact. And I think he was allowing himself to get hit in there. I would love to see him, fight Charlo. And of course, you guys, if you haven't seen that, it's on my Facebook page, Counterpunch Boxing News, of course. And it just showed their little beef and their little monologue back and forth. Because they're always beefing. I seen a fight break out with them in the Barclays Center with their entourage last year when I seen the Lara versus Goucher fight. So those guys have beef. They have history. That is a mega fight, or the best fight that you can have at 154 at this time. So, those fights were good fights. Also, we have Joe Joyce. He took on baby Jersey Joe. And that was a good fight as long as it lasted. Joe Joyce will be a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division once he matures, coming out of the Olympics, you know what I mean? And he has some great capoeira skills, The guy tested him a little bit. He chin checked him, made Joe Joyce know that, hey, you're in a fight. Joe Joyce rebutted and replied with barrages of punches of his own and got him out of there. The guy never seen it coming, but it was a good test for Joe Joyce as well as a good win. So I think these fighters and the undercard were good choices, because initially they wanted Spence and Mikey on that undercard, which I think it would have sold more But, you know, I'm kind of glad now that it's not on the same night. Because, you know, I think they would have had to pull from each other. You know what I mean? Would have pulled from the main event. So, but yeah, the undercard was great. You know, it was a good pay-per-view event. I had a good time. Lost my voice like I always do, especially when I'm seeing hype fights and there's, you know, some rising action in the fight. So, but anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this undercard. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.